Hello, my absolutely beautiful Aries friends, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for October of 2022. And Aries, I want to tell you right out of the gate, please grab pen, paper, pencil, whatever you need. There is a lot to cover this month. We're going to try and do it in a timely manner, but there is a lot of energy changing direction. It's also a really impactful month for you, Aries, because your ruling planet is slowed down and preparing for this retrograde. So it is not moving with this springing, living its best life, moving forward kind of energy. Instead, it is very slowed down. So please, Aries, grab your pen, grab your paper. Of course, the dates will be listed over here on the screen along with the chart as well. But settle in with me for just a minute. And if you're watching me visually, cool. If not, just put the audio on and let's talk about the cosmic sky happening in October. All right, Aries, first and foremost, as we are coming into this month, I really want you to be aware that your ruling planet Mars is getting ready to head into retrograde. And as we're traveling from, really in September all the way until March of 2023, the energy for you is about low, slow, and in, especially if you do not have Mars retrograde in your natal chart. Now, if you have Mars retrograde in your natal chart, you may be feeling like, okay, I'm actually ready to bring some of these things I've been thinking about out. I'm ready to take some action on them. But either way, the change of direction for this Aries energy, I want you to just be mindful. The ruling planet is heading into retrograde. So if you are planning on doing something, if things are coming back to your table, you're getting another opportunity at them, whatever it is, I want you to think slow down, Aries, which is not always the way, the truth, and the light for Aries energy, right? It's like weakness, no, not doing it, not putting my head down and ramming through. These can be qualities that even if you are the most evolved Aries energy, whether that's sun, moon, rising, right? It can be an instinct here that is to slow down, might not be as natural. Now, the other thing I do think as we're coming into October, Aries, that is in your favor is that we've been in high retrograde. So likely external forces have helped you to slow down and have to reevaluate or get ready to go back to something. And this is all for the good, because really what I don't want for that beautiful cardinal fire of yours is for you to keep trying to start something, and then you're ending up angry. And instead of like having it as this burst of energy outward where you can not just explode on people, but explode into action, it comes inside. So burning your own fire inside, I think, is a real dangerous thing to do, and it can come out like frustration and like anger. So we don't want to create internal combustion. So please be with me as we're talking about that this month. Instead, slow down, re-strategize, get ready to reorganize, and likely some things in life have brought you back to a little bit of a slowdown so that when you leap forward in March of 2023, you are ready to go. You're like, oh, I'm Aries, hear me roar. This is where I'm going, and this is how I'm going to get there, and here's who's going with me as well. Okay? So I want you to have that on the top of your mind as we're coming into this particular month. Now, as we get to the 2nd of October, we're going to see Mercury turning direct in the energy of Virgo. Remember, August 20th of this year, we saw Mercury start its pre-retrograde shadow time at 24 degrees of Virgo, and then it went all the way until now as it is coming back and coming direct in the energy of Virgo again. So we're really getting to see the fullness of this cycle of Mercury retrograde through Virgo and through Libra and now back to Virgo, okay? So as Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 2nd, it's coming out in Virgo, which lights up your 6th house space. This is your daily routines, your schedule, health, wellness, fitness, including your mental health and wellness. And Mercury in Virgo is in power. It's in domicile. So this is a time for you to really mentally get organized, right? To get your 6th house area, get a daily routine going for you that maybe over this last handful of 10 months, people, places, and things have left your life, and now you've got to reorganize your life, your energy, or at least make a beginning with those things, or get ready to Virgo, mutable energy, transition between what was and what's going to be next for you, Aries, okay? But whatever it is, really thinking about this idea of getting my health, getting my wellness, getting my daily routine to be the very best that it can be is really where I'd like you to point your attention. Now, Mercury is going to come all the way out of post-retrograde shadow time, October 6th. Okay, so yes, it's coming direct today, and when a planet is stationing, it can be a little weird. Energies around you can be weird. I don't always suggest making any big decisions if you can avoid it, or just be mindful that the people, places, and things around you might be a little bit weird, including you, okay? So just know that, but we will leave and be ready to move forward with energy October 16th, so that is on the way. Okay, as we get to the 8th, ooh, I'm getting excited about this. Now, I want to just say this also. At the time that you're going to be seeing this, this is the 72nd video that I have recorded in the period of about 8 weeks, okay? So I have really traveled all of 2022 for us already. So when I tell you that on October 8th, I'm excited to continue to welcome the unretrograding to the table, I really mean that. We've had Mercury come out of retrograde on the 2nd, and on the 8th, we're going to see Pluto come out of retrograde in the energy of Capricorn at 26 degrees. So we were in peak retrograde energy in September. Now in October, it's like, ooh, okay, some of this is going to start to open up. Now, we have been doing the Pluto retrograde energy since April, okay? So April 29th, you can go back to that time, 28 degrees of Capricorn. Where is that located in your chart? Pluto moves slowly, so it backs up only a couple degrees during its retrograde. But on April 29th, what was going on in your life? Where were you going back into your space to be empowered, to see what needed to be destroyed, what was dying off for you in this area where it's like that is not sustainable anymore? Where were you starting to experience some real transformation in your life? And now as Pluto is coming out of its retrograde, you have this opportunity to arise as the Phoenix at 26 degrees of Capricorn. Where is that for you in your chart? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now on the 9th, we're going to have a full moon at 16 degrees of Aries. Okay. All right. The full moon asks us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. Okay. And where is this going to be? But it's going to be in your first house, in your sign. So it's about you, Aries. Like, it is really a big focus on you right now. So locate that 16 degrees of Aries in your chart, and this is the Libra Aries axis. So it's the me and the we, me and my relationships. At this point in the year, I always ask, because the full moon asks for culmination and transition, what people, what relationships have left your life? What struggles in relationships have left your life, and now you're ready to give yourself and tend to a relationship differently? Where is there an evolution that's happening at this time? You know, I really think that as we consider at this particular lunation as well, that your ruling planet Mars and Neptune are in conversation with one another. It's a good time for you, remembering that Mars is slowed down. Okay, so it's getting ready to go to retrograde, to also take this full moon to have this evaluation of where you want to put your energy and where you do not want to put your energy anymore. But remember, you get to slow down. You don't have to have the answer by the end of the month. This may be a part of the evaluation for you, Aries, all the way until March. It really might be. So Mars, Neptune in this conversation with one another, you know, you might have to give it some time. When you show up to the universe and you say, I'm willing to serve, I'm willing to have what's next, I'm willing, it doesn't mean that it's going to be delivered to you by 2 p.m. One of the things I can say for you too, though, Aries, at this particular time that I think is really important for you is to remember we're in the height of Libra season, okay? So there is a high focus on your relationships. And I'm curious, as this full moon is rolling around, what new ideas, epiphanies, thoughts, information have presented themselves to you in terms of commitments you've made in your relationships or the relations in your life? You know, did you have a relationship that came into your life and now you're restructuring and thinking about yourself in relation to that commitment? Have people left your life and now you're needing to learn this world without the structure of that commitment? You don't have that tie anymore, right? So at this full moon, I would offer you an invitation to consider all of those things. On the 10th, we see Mercury now out of retrograde, pushing forward and re-entering into the energy of Libra. So we are picking up a little bit of speed. But remember, this is still the time frame where we're evaluating from August 20th, all the way until October 16th. This is all considered. We've been seeing it, looking at it, reviewing it energy. And while decisions that revealed themselves, during this retrograde time, you can start to take some forward action on them. We're not free to really be moving full steam ahead until October 16th. Now, what does that mean? That does not mean that you don't take the job. It doesn't mean that you don't sign the contract. It means just still be aware to double check the agreement, double check the conversation, all of that good stuff, okay? On the 23rd, more unretrograding. We've got Saturn coming direct in the energy of Aquarius at 18 degrees. Now, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, this signature of energies has really spent 2022 taking away our structures, right? Taking away things that do not allow us to have freedom. Things that obstruct our freedom, and they put us in that place that's very Saturnian, that says it's not about punishing you. It's time to mature. It's time to level up here. So think back in your life, January 4th of 2022, this year, what did you start reviewing? What were you reviewing? What were you looking at? 25 degrees of Aquarius in your chart, all the way to 18 degrees of Aquarius in your chart. Where have you absolutely leveled up, or you found yourself really bumping against that Saturn retrograde? Because Saturn retrograde is like, hey, let's have a talk, right? Are you emotionally, mentally, materially, psychologically, is this structure steady enough? Are you mature enough in these areas? And if not, you might have felt doubt, right? It could have felt like doubt instead of a building. But also, if you've been living your best life, this might have been a time that just felt like a genuine restructuring. And then Saturn really does reward the effort and the work of the achievement of building. So we welcome Saturn now out of retrograde. So we've got Mercury out of retrograde, Pluto out of retrograde, Saturn out of retrograde. Technically, Mars is out of retrograde, but it is slowed down, so we might as well just get used to the fact that that's coming. Then we've also obviously got Venus out of retrograde and not retrograding again this year. On the 23rd, kind of a busy day. Speaking of Venus, we've got Venus entering into the energy of Scorpio, and we are also going to welcome the Sun into the energy of Scorpio. So happy birthday, Scorpio friends. This is a fellow Mars-ruled energy, Aries. So, just a little nod to them maybe for sharing a little bit of energetic space. Now, Aries, what you want to know about this is that this lights up your 8th house. We are coming out of Libra season where you are looking at conscious, chosen, one-on-one relationships, contracts, anything that you marry to, whether it's a person, an idea, a belief, a higher power, a business partner, whatever it is. And now we're getting into the depth. And this is where I really, really want your attention, Aries. At this point in the game, one of the signatures I think is the strongest for you is to make sure that your 8th house, Scorpio, has a place to share, has a place to release, has a place to allow the deep healing and transformation that is available to you. What has happened to you, Aries, from January until now? And it's just been happening, and you've been independent. It is If we live in the shadow only of it, a signature of Aries to think it's kind of a lonely world, I'm on my own, I'll figure it out, right? Where is that tendency creeping up, or where has your identity shifted so much, Aries, that you actually just need to talk? You need to say, here's what's going on. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's how I'm feeling. Here's where I'm successful. Here's where I'm worrying, right? Here's where I've been feeling real suicidal lately, right? Like, what is really going on in that 8th house area? Now, the 8th house is death, debt, taxes, joint resources, joint connections. I like to call it the space of intimacy. You see into me. So where is this also going to be a season over the next 4 weeks where we are really welcoming in a different level of intimacy into your relationships? Where is this in your life welcoming in maybe some income, a boost, some benefit, a windfall, some healing to your partners that actually makes the both of you better, right? Now this, I again really encourage you to think broadly about it, because if you're like, Stormie, I'm so single, I don't even want to mingle, then we're not talking about a partnership like that. But where are you in the universe getting so healed together that at the time where you're experiencing the change in your structures, you're like, even if this goes sideways, the universe has absolutely got my back? Where is that conversation for you? Where is the conversation of your money? Right? We cannot pretend that that is not what's going on. We've got an eclipse this month, and it's not the first time we're going to see it. So the conversation of your resources, your fear of resources, your change of resources, fear of changing your resources, it's all on the table as well. Speaking of an eclipse, as we get to the 25th, we've got this new moon solar eclipse happening at 2 degrees of Scorpio. Please locate this on your chart. Now, we've been dancing with the Taurus and the Scorpio axes all year. So 2nd house, 8th house. These are the financial and the value houses, which when these houses have transformation, they really have transformation and hit most of us in our guts, right? Or the things that we value that we've been attached to deeply, fears, deep health, deep healing, sex, these things, when they get a change to the axis, we absolutely experience them, especially if there's anything you've been clinging to. Okay, now this is still the new moon for the month, so we're going to plant our seeds of intention here. You're planting your seeds of intention to not necessarily to have to begin something new, because we are in a cycle and we really have been seeing this cycle since last year, okay, since November of last year. But to like get a fresh breath, get a new perspective, to allow yourself to understand that fundamentally you have shifted, you have changed. Things around you are changing, to acknowledge that, to drop the hustle, okay? Because this, remember, one of the ruling planets of this moon is just come out of retrograde, Pluto. So you've seen it, that's destroyed, that's done. Who you thought you were, that work, that career, how you thought it had to be, how you thought you had to work, that relationship with your mom, your dad, where you thought you had all the responsibility, that's died. That's died, that's done, it's changed into something else. And then the other ruling planet is heading into retrograde. So doing the most, Aries, is not for you. It is not for you right now. And fundamentally understanding what has driven you, how you move, that you have changed, and that is hitting you at this gut level saying, let's change. Let's transform here. Let's let these things that have been, I've been leaning on it for a long time in my life go, because I can't grow any further with that thing, with that belief. If it feels a little bit like a death or a destruction or a freeing, you also have to make some peace with being free and allowing yourself to move at the level of passion and desire and what drives you and what moves you forward, Aries. So I offer you an invitation to breathe in the whole damn eclipse. You've been working on this in this Taurus Scorpio axis really since November. I mean, I honestly think if you flash back into your life 19 years ago, you were already here. Now, hopefully you're showing up with a little bit more wisdom. So let's invite the transformation and the phoenixing that is 1,000% available. And to celebrate that, let's have Jupiter move back into the energy of Pisces. As we get to the 28th, we've got Jupiter moving back into the energy of Pisces out of your sign. It had this blow through there, right? Where you're like, I'm ready to go. I have this vision. I see where I can go next. I'm starting a new school. I'm getting some training. I'm expanding out. I'm going to travel. I am going to push forward. I am pioneering, right? That's the Aries chant of where we were going next because, damn it, I have a right to do it. Right? Now, Jupiter is sliding back into this 12th house space of Pisces. And this is the symbol and this is the signal that I think, first of all, where has your spirituality? Let's just go right to the spirituality, not what you think. The state and the condition of your spirit. If all your money, if all your relationships fell out tomorrow, do you have a relationship with this universe where you understand that you are taken care of, right? In the heat of the crisis and the things that we are going through across the world, what is the state of your spirituality? Which doesn't mean that you are unfazed. You are a human. Please, let's not pull that line. Okay, but what is the state? And in your spiritual awakening and awareness, as you have had time to already have Jupiter basically blow through this Pisces energy, now it's just reviewing. Where do you feel more willing to empathize with people? Have compassion for yourself and for others, to have a different vision, an idea, an ideal of the warrior in you and where it gets to go next, this time, where is it that from now all the way till December, really until October 28th, do you need some time by yourself? Aries, do you need some time to go to ground, let your wisdom sink and show you that there's another way? Do you need some time to go to ground and heal and to let it go and to say goodbye? Say goodbye. Say thank you and goodbye to the Aries who traveled from 2003 until now, and tell them thank you and goodbye. The Aries that, you spent 12 years with. Let's look at that Jupiter 12-year cycle. Thank you and goodbye. But this is also an opportunity for you to take a deep breath and replot your plan when Jupiter gets back into the energy of Aries of the direction that you would like to go. So, I love all of that. Okay, on the 29th, we've got Mercury entering into the energy of Scorpio. Now, Mercury is going to be here until November 17th. So Mercury, first of all, we left the post-retrograde shadow time, and I think Mercury is like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Let's be about this business. But again, it speaks to me in this signature of Aries. If you need to talk, if you need to get it out, if you need to say what you need to say, bring it out, even if it's tears. Tears are just liquid prayers. If it is, you need to go to therapy and you need to say something, this is what's going on in my head, this is where I'm hurting, this is where I feel free, this is where I feel passionate, right? Making decisions, having conversations, signing contracts. Maybe you're like, yep, I am ready to open that investment account. I am ready to open that high yield savings account. I am willing to collaborate with another person. I don't want to be superficial. I want to have conversations with people and myself that are deep. They're at the level of sometimes I don't always like to see that, but damn it, when I do, I get really free, right? So Jupiter in Scorpio lights up your 8th house, gets really busy, but also it might just be time to pay your insurance. You might get a letter, they're like, annual premiums are coming back around. So that could look a lot of ways for you. As we're going to close out this month, it's the big to-do. On the 30th, we've got Mars stepping into its retrograde in the energy of Gemini. This is going to retrograde through your 3rd house. Communication, thinking, siblings, writing, studying. If you are studying something, let's say that Jupiter and Aries got you to go back to school, got you into a training program, got you into a board seat somewhere, right? Now we've got an opportunity with Mercury retrograding through Gemini for you to rethink that, do that studying, get down to the basics, find out how things work. The other thing I really think about this Mars retrograde is, first of all, Mars will come out of retrograde January 12th, but we don't really finish the full cycle of this Mars Gemini conversation until March of 2023. Okay, so birthday time for you. Think in that direction. But Mars retrograde is really about your network, right? Who's in your network? Who are you talking to? Who are you networking with that's allowing you to go to the next place? It's allowing you to be free, is allowing you to find new solutions to challenges that have presented themselves. I cannot get rid of this signature for you, but it's something around talking. There's this like potential, not depression, but depressed, like compressed, depressed energy that I think with Mars in Gemini gives you the opportunity to get new perspective and new ideas on how you can handle that. But remember, the ruling planet of Gemini is Mercury, and it's in Scorpio as we take this retrograde. So it's pretty deep. There are likely some financial fear, passion, sex, intimate conversations that are going on, okay? So whatever it is, you've got this Mars retrograde cycle to first of all remember to slow down. The hot and heavy is not for you right now, Aries, okay? Also, if you will know if you're trying to do too much, because frustration, anger, I feel like I have to push, why am I not getting anywhere? All of these things will really start to present themselves. So instead, embrace and take on the challenge of new perspective, of a new way of thinking and a new way of welcoming and walking yourself through this next 7 months, okay? All right, my beautiful Aries, I know this was a much longer video. I just wanted to make sure I got you everything. And I will, of course, be walking with you weekly. And enjoy the month. Please let me know how it's going for you in the comment section down below. It is an impactful month, so take note. Take note in your own journals what's going on. Look back to 19 years ago, what was happening for you, 2003, what was happening for you in November of 2021. You know, as we're doing the Taurus-Scorpio axes dance, what kind of patterns are showing themselves. I love you and I thank you, and I will see you guys in shorter videos in November. I can already tell you that because it's recorded next month. Bye, guys.